Usually what ends up happening is the developer will choose the most widely used technology for the project, but then they lose visibility of the other technologies. Hi guys, I'm going to talk to you about a very common problem in the developer world. So a developer might be working on a project and they're using multiple different technologies such as Angular, ASP.NET Core, and Cosmos DB. However, in their project tracking system, it might only allow them to select one technology to put against that project. So usually what ends up happening is the developer will choose the most widely used technology for the project, but then they lose visibility of the other technologies. So if they selected ASP.NET Core, then they'll lose visibility of Angular and Cosmos DB. So I'm going to take you through a CRM system and how this problem might manifest, as well as how it could be addressed. So let's jump into the Northwind project that I have open. And let's have a look at the right-hand side at the third field called project type. Now this project type is replacing an old field called project type legacy. And that basically allows you to select from hundreds of different technologies, one technology to assign to the project. However, you then couldn't select extra technologies, it was only one, so you missed out on, say, Angular and Cosmos DB if you selected .NET Core. So let's have a look at how this problem was painful in our reporting system by having a look at that report. And in this report, you can see in the top right-hand corner that we can see a breakdown of the different technologies that are used on our projects. However, this has been further categorized away from the technologies on the project to make it readable so that you have only 15 here rather than hundreds of different technologies that are going in the project type. So basically the problem here is you can see that there's 92% of web.NET JS Framework CMS, but you can't see, for example, what percentage of projects are using Angular, what percentage of projects are using React. This kind of information, you can only see like a very broad general categorization. So we want to have visibility of specific technologies people are using and how widely they're used. So let's jump over to the Northwind project again, and let's have a look at how this has been solved. So this now has a project type, which is a general category that is just 5 or 6 different things. You've got web, low code, data, mobile, desktop, and more. And that's just a general categorization. But then the real amazing thing is the skills section. And in the skills section, you can actually select whatever technologies you want and put them on the project. So you can add Angular, .NET Core, Cosmos DB, and anything else that you might need. So that's really great because you can track all of the technologies in one project. So if we now have a look at how the new report resolves this issue, let's have a look at the project skills tab, which is the 4th tab along in the CRM system. So this is the new report that visualizes all of the skills. So you can open it in full screen here. And the first thing you'll notice is that on the bottom left, you can see the project categorizations or the new project type, which gives you the broad categorization such as web. And you can actually filter on that to see only the web projects and also what technologies are used within the web projects. And then you can see the trending skills as well that are used within web projects. So let's deselect that and move up to the more important graph, which is the skills by project. Now this graph lets you actually visualize all of the different technologies that are used within your projects. So you can see that in this case, Angular is the most popular technology, then DevOps, then SharePoint, then .NET MVC, and so on and so forth. And you can actually filter down to a specific technology. So we can select Angular, and you can see the percentage that Angular is used within the broader categorizations. For example, for web, this wedge represents the amount of web projects that are Angular. And you can also see in the top right corner, the skills trend for Angular. So this is how Angular is trending over time. And let's just remove the filter on Angular And then you can see all of the skills that are trending in general, the top 5 skills. So we can see that .NET MVC, Angular, DevOps, and React, as well as SharePoint, are all popular skills and how they've been trending up or down over time. So let's jump back into the CRM project, because the next thing that we want to do is we want to be able to visualize the Angular skill and see what projects are using that. So if we move over to the left-hand side to skills and click on that, and we search for Angular and find it in the list and open it up, we can see that the projects using this skill include our Northwind Traders project, as well as some other projects there. Additionally, you can also see all of the people that know how to use this technology, Angular. And that's great because when you start a new project, you know how to find people to help you do certain things with that technology. Now, one final thing that you might want to consider is, how do I add a new technology to a project? So let's go back to our Northwind Traders app and open that up. And let's move over to the skills section. And we can actually go new skill here to add a new skill that doesn't exist. So if we type in Azure API Management, because we use that heavily on the Northwind Traders app, then save that. It'll prompt us firstly to say you have duplicates. Now that's because there's other ones that say Azure here, but there's actually no Azure API Management. But that's great because if there was one, it would prevent us from entering it twice. So let's ignore it. And now the skill has been created and you can use that in your project. So let's jump back into the Northwind project and let's just search for it in our skills box. And we can add it there like that and hit save. And that's now in that project. And then we need to add it some users that can use that skill. So if we jump into the users on the left-hand side, we can search for myself because I know how to use Azure API Management. So let's jump into there and click on related and go to user skills. And now that we're in user skills, we can go new skill and then just search for Azure API Management. And now if we save and close that, it will be assigned to my user. So now if we switch back to the skill, Azure API Management, and refresh that page, we should see it show up against both Northwind and myself, and we can see that there. So one of the great things about this is that in SSW, we can then push those skills out to our profiles. So if we have a look at Adam's profile by jumping over here, we can see that on our website, we're displaying all of the skills that Adam has, and they're all pulled from CRM, which is fantastic. So today I've taken you through how you might resolve problems that you have with having a singular technology against a project in a project tracking system, and what you might do to actually allow for multiple technologies to be stored against a single project. And this is really useful because it gives you better visibility of how your technologies are being used across the organization. Thank you very much for listening.